She must have killed herself when I checked in.
You in the habit of murdering strange women? We got it all on video.
All of it. Everything. This is my luck, huh? A couple of peeping Toms.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Scary Stories by the Campfire. Tonight, we are at the Meadow View Motel, where they got queen-size beds. We are here. We are your counselors, Jeremy
and Jason.
And we are talking about Vacancy 2, the first cut. That's right, the first cut.
I'd prefer not to. I'm gonna go out there and say that this movie was That's not even a word, it's a sound effect. It's literally the
Yeah, the sound effect of somebody dying in the movie. Oh man.
Okay, since technically this is my movie series, I'll kick it off.
Yeah. Hello, Buck Hunter. Welcome.
This movie was... Here's the thing about it. There are a lot of movies out there, and I think we discussed it last week when we talk about the original Vacancy, that there are certain movies out there that are fine standing alone. And I think we named off a couple. It was like Vacancy, Joyride, Joe Dirt. And for some reason, someone out there had thought that this movie needed a sequel. Technically, it's a prequel, but and I'm getting my camera back up. And the way that I see it is this is entirely unnecessary. This, I think, is just... I don't get it. I don't think the first Vacancy movie was like some sort of major blockbuster hit. You know,
it really wasn't.
It was kind of a low radar movie, and you know, it's not gonna rank up there to the likes of Halloween, Friday the 13th, The Exorcist. It's not comparable to those. So I think the first movie was... I mean, I love the movie. It's just something that I saw in theaters and I really liked. But I can look at it and tell you that it's not a great movie. It's just kind of a mediocre film. I don't think there was anyone in the theater who actually saw the first one and was like, you know what this needs? Backstory. But you know what? Not even backstory. So let me break it down for you people out there. The first movie had a cast of probably 7 people. You had the motel owner.
You had two killers.
The couple. Then you had the truck driver.
The
and
cop.
The sheriff.
Yep, 7.
So, sheriff's dead. Truck driver is part of it. The killers are dead. The motel owner is dead. So, we want a prequel to this. We want to show how this gets started. Well, first of all, it doesn't even get started in this motel. It's an entirely different motel. We are introduced to a new motel owner, and his name is Gordon.
I was about to say, but who in the first one, Jason, should be getting the prequel?
Mason. The motel owner.
He should be getting the prequel. And who is getting it?
Hold on, Jeremy, let me finish, okay? Here we go. So, you're watching the movie. You're thinking, oh, maybe this Gordon guy looks kind of like Mason a little bit. He's got a little bit of a Mason thing going on. Maybe he somehow gets through the movie and changes names. He goes on to change his name and starts his operation up again in a different town, in a different motel. That sounds reasonable, right?
Yeah.
This guy gets gunned down towards the end of the movie.
Shotgun blast.
Him and his buddy are both killed off. So pretty much the way the movie runs is that you have these two guys, Gordon and I don't care what his name is because he really didn't do anything. But you had these two guys, and in this movie they're perverts, right? I think that I missed like the first 10 minutes of the movie, but I'm pretty sure from what I understand is that they were filming. They had the camera set up in the hotel, and they were filming what, couples having sex,
Yep.
and they were selling them
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah,
And
they're selling it.
they ended up catching this one guy on camera, and he ends up murdering a woman on the camera. So what they do? Did they capture him?
Yeah, they
like,
went in there and
catch
like
him?
tied him up to a chair.
Yeah, because he was getting rid of all the evidence, and they end up like tying him to a chair. And he tells them, he says, "Hey, filming murder and selling it is much pricier than just selling people having sex. It's kind of a larger market. I guess that's what he meant." And so they decided to go along with his plan. They would have people come in and they would murder him. Lo and behold, we get our boring cast of 3. Because these guys were not entertaining at all.
No,
And
but you would recognize where one of them played. He played in a series that you actually really liked, and you watched the entire thing of. He's in the last season.
Which one?
R.J. Smith, who played Tanner, the black dude, played in the last season of Sons of Anarchy.
I don't even remember the Sons of Anarchy. I remember that last final episode, but I don't remember.
He played in the last like 5 episodes. He played Grant McQueen.
Yeah, that explains a lot. I'll have to go back and look at it. I probably would recognize him, but so this trio comes in, and basic plot, blah blah blah. Well, the female character is the only survivor.
Oh yeah, they
And
killed her fiance off quick and early.
Yeah, they end up catching him and just tying him to a chair, and one guy stabbed him to death. So she ends up getting rid of the one guy and the motel owner with a shotgun. So you're left with the actual killer, because the other two didn't actually kill anyone.
No.
And Gordon, I don't think, wanted to kill anyone. I think his buddy was trying to kill people, but kind of backed up. But so all that's left is her and the killer, and of course she's gone and disfigured his face and who's it's and whatnots it's. And by the end of the movie, she's already called the cops. He gets away, and he starts the operation up again in the Pinewood Motel, the one from the first movie. So you're thinking, oh my God, who is this guy? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. Jeremy, do you remember the cast from the first movie? We just went over it, right?
Yeah, Luke Wilson, Kate Beckinsale. I don't know who the opener is. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I know he's in our movie next week.
Yeah, Frank Whaley.
Scott Anderson, Ethan Embry.
Ethan Embry was the mechanic, and Scott Embry was
Scott Anderson.
Oh, Scott Anderson was the he was cast as the killer. So if you're watching the original movie, there's the scene that we like to talk about. It's the car scene where she drives through the motel, and she crashes the car into Ethan Embry's character, the mechanic, pins him up against the wall, and he just bleeds to death. When she ran out to that car and got in the car, and the other guy attacked her through the sunroof, and she crashed the car in there, and he was just dead through the sunroof. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is his backstory. The guy that you really don't ever see his face at all, This is that guy's backstory. What a waste of potential.
This whole movie, not just that, this whole movie was a mess.
I would say if they took off the vacancy title, if they just named it something different, this might have been a little bit better. I think we were looking when we were looking at it on Amazon, 50 something per. Was it? Does it do it by percentage or is it just by people?
Percentage.
It's a percentage. 50 something people gave this movie a 5-star rating out of 5 stars. This movie ended up with 4 stars total, and I don't see why. If I was to put a vote on this movie, I would put it as a 2-star. That's I think yesterday, or not yesterday, Monday when we finished up the movie, I think I said I would give it a 3-star. I changed my opinion. It is now a 2-star. If they had changed the name, maybe 3-star, because as of right now, it's a bunch of characters I don't care about. And really, you couldn't just make Mason the main guy. What does the killer do? He just shows up, because at the end of the movie, he's sitting in what would be Mason's spot, and he's got his whole setup. He's got his whole setup, and what? Just in between movies, Mason shows up and takes over. You know, it's not thrilling at all.
This movie was cheaply put together. It was cheaply written. It was everything about it was just cheap. I mean, all the shots that were done inside the hotel room were pretty okay. But then after that, it just kind of it went like Blair Witch shaky camera on us.
Oh my god, the camera work in this movie was awful. There was a few moments in the beginning of the movie where we're watching it and I'm sitting there because here's the thing about this movie. When we showed the trailer last week, I was kind of skeptical to know what the trailer would actually look like, because I know the first movie. I've seen the trailer for the first movie. I know nothing about this movie except that it exists. That's it. And I knew Scott Anderson was the only returning actor. He actually did play the killer in the first movie, and he came back for this one. He's the only returning actor. But when your trailer is half of it is just it's promoting the first movie, and then the second part looks like an ABC special, like Lifetime, just low budget. I think we were laughing at it.
We were laughing so hard.
It was bad. So I had my anticipations set. Oh my god. Spin, Raven Fire says. Yes, that's actually what happened at the end of the movie when they were transitioning from the first motel to the second motel. They did that little shot where it showed the highway and it spun.
Oh my god, the camera! Dude,
it looked like you were on a theme park ride that just spun around, and it was nauseating. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they couldn't just do like one spin, like one rotation, and just showed that the motel was a different motel.
It wasn't even a slow spin, like just a nice little spin. No, it was like a fast rotation, like you're in a tornado or something.
It was bad choice right there. But yeah, so when we started the movie on Monday, I was watching the movie and I thought it was, at least the beginning, it looked better than what the trailer was. But I don't know, for some reason about halfway through when they're doing all the running and stuff, it looked like the quality just dropped. It just bloop, there it was.
Yeah,
everything went shaky cam and just really bad. And this movie came out a year after the first one, so it just, and Jeremy even brought up, here's the only thing, Jeremy brought up the idea that it's a straight to home video or DVD or whatever it was.
Yeah,
it didn't Curse of Chucky, Jeremy. Cult of Chucky. Those are straight to DVD movies.
Yeah,
And
they are.
way better. They are way better looking than this.
That is true.
Those are like theatrical looking films. This, of course, didn't make it to theaters, but no one would pay to see this in theaters.
I don't think anybody
Well-
would pay to buy it off the shelf, to be honest.
Well, apparently 54 people really thought this was a good movie. This is embarrassing. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, the actors did what they could. Okay, I don't ever really want to.
Well, let's look at something that kind of was in their control that they could have helped a little bit with. Why did we look like we were part of the KKK running around killing people? It's like they were mimicking Jason from Part 2 as their favorite movie and went running through the hotel.
I'm gonna admit something, Jeremy. I zoned out a bit during that scene. So during that scene, I think they're trying to kill the couple. I don't know what was going on, but I think they were trying to kill the couple. And this other couple shows up, this older couple, and Gordon is trying to shoo them away because they only have the quote unquote one room. And these KKK pillowcase wearing fools are walking around. They're just walking around. They're not sneaking. They're not being creepy. They're just walking around aimlessly in the middle of the parking lot. And somehow they're trying to like keep their Gordon's trying to keep the husband's attention away because he's trying to find them a different place to stay, and the wife's out in the car. And I think the one guy tried to sneak up on her and try to kill her or whatever, but they're just wandering around, not doing anything. And some Klansman was late for their meeting, I suppose.
Then you had Doris and Otis.
Yeah, I entirely missed them at the beginning of the movie. Were they in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, so at the very beginning of the movie, the starting couple, these two Asians, I guess they had just got married. They stopped off on the side of the road and they were gonna do the dirty. And I guess
on the side of the road.
On the side of the road, and I guess this part where they stopped was on Otis's land, and he met him and like tapped on the window with a shotgun. I was like, "You're on private property." And then that's when they drove to the hotel. But it's kind of weird that they were kind of involved in the whole thing at the hotel.
They weren't involved. I think
they knew about it.
They knew about the videos?
Yeah.
Or did just Otis know?
Beats me. The way it sounded like they both knew. But it was just weird. Because then Scott Anderson was just like, yeah, you know what, screw it, and blew them both away.
Yeah, because our two survivors made it to their house, and they're going to call the cops. And they let him in, and I guess Otis had called Gordon, or Gordon had showed up or something like that. And because I think Gordon was a well-known person in the town. He had to have been well-known because at the end of the movie, when they're searching the first motel, they're like, yeah, we know Gordon's a pretty good guy. He owns this hotel type thing. So he must have had, some sort of good standing, even though he's a creepy pervert.
True. But it was just... This whole movie was just a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you changes the name. It's kind of like maybe it's like I'm trying to think of another movie.
What, that failed like this?
No, not failed like this, but like would have been better if it didn't have the name involved.
Oh, Some people said that the new Child's Play could have done that.
Yeah, I would agree on that. I mean, I think the new Child's Play movie. I haven't seen it. We're gonna have to cover it at some point, but just from what I've seen of it and heard of it and kind of what I understand, if they just change some character names and change the name of the movie, I'm pretty sure the movie would have done a whole lot better than it did. Because the idea is that you're attaching a name because of the thing that it's supposed to represent, even though it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And then that's what I think this movie should have done, was just go by a different name. Didn't have to necessarily be Vacancy. I mean, it would have been strange to have another motel snuff film right after the first one, but I think it would have done at least a little bit better if you just changed the name, because then I wouldn't be expecting so much. I'm putting stock into thinking this is going to be about someone, and it's really just kind of a origin story for the guy who died in a sunroof. And you don't even get to see his face.
I know.
At all, I don't think.
I don't think you do either.
Not in the first one.
Man.
So, Jamie, what part did you like about this movie, and what part did you not like about this movie?
Okay, well, I didn't like an hour and 22 minutes of it. I liked when it was over.
Actually, I'm gonna admit this movie was fast. I may have missed like maybe 10 minutes of it, but it moved fast. It felt like it started and
No, the scene I really did like was when they killed off what's his name, the buddy, Reese, with the nails underneath the floor.
Those had to have been some long nails.
They looked like it.
I mean, because the way she kind of kicked him up there, it must have. She had some sort of super kick, because that thing penetrated his brain, I suppose, and had to have been more than one nail. But yeah, I mean, that was. Let's see here. The thing that I liked about this movie. Short runtime. That is really bad when you can't really think of one exact thing that you like.
I liked when they lit the guy on fire.
Actually, yeah, that was a pretty good fire stunt. No, I'll go with that. They had a pretty good fire stunt. They said,
and they stabbed him through the cheek, and he like pulled the cloth through his cheek.
Yeah, he did get stabbed. Yeah, that guy got brutalized. Reese got a nail in the head and died, and Gordon got a shotgun and died.
In the swamp.
And Otis got a shotgun and died. And what was her name? Doris got a shotgun and died. But what was the killer's name? What did they have a name?
Smith.
That's it? Smith?
Yeah.
They give him the most basic names around here. This guy's Smith, this guy's Reese, this guy's Gordon, and
then you had Caleb and Tanner.
Didn't anyone ever have a last name in these movies? I don't think so.
Well,
no, the Fox.
Yeah, Jessica, Tanner, and Caleb. I was surprised to see them kill Caleb off so early. I will admit that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way it was shot, it was kind of weird, because they ended up catching him, and they tied him to a chair, and at least from the angle that I was looking at, maybe I just didn't see the knife, but when he did the first knife strike, it looked like he just kind of punched him in the gut. And that's what I thought they were doing. They were just kind of punching him.
Yeah.
Kind of. And his wife and friend were outside. They were all banging on the windows. and then they run to the doors. They start banging on the doors, and once Caleb is dead, they run over to one of the doors, start banging it, and Gordon opens the door, and they proceed to turn around and run away. I mean, like, what was the point? You were banging on the windows and doors while your friend and husband is getting stabbed to death. Then after he's dead, they continue to bang on the windows and doors, and then when they finally open the doors, they turn around and run away.
Yep.
Some of their choices were not the brightest.
Not at all. Heck, I mean, you can look at the backdrop that we have now. Look at the way she looks like she's smiling.
Oh my gosh, she is. She's got like a little. God, look at him. He's so adorable. Yeah.
Then you got Tanner on the back, petrified.
Yeah, Tanner. Oh, Tanner.
I mean, the picture that the disclaimer was on was like a goofy looking. The way the picture looked on the disclaimer, it looked like he looked like Marv from Home Alone.
Yeah. I think I even made a.
You did. You made a Harry and Marv reference during movie night Monday.
Yeah, I think it was with Gordon and Reese. I was just like, look at these guys. They're like Harry and Marv. Oh God, this movie makes me long to watch other better movies.
So, Jason, favorite kill?
Seriously, Jeremy? Let's see. We got a nail. We got a shotgun. We got a shotgun. We got a shotgun. We got a stabbing. No, we did get the woman and yeah, I guess I'm gonna give it to Reese. I guess it's a tie between him and Caleb because they weren't shotguns. Everyone got shot in this movie. This is a movie about snuff films and about torturing people on camera, and you just shot everyone. What was your favorite kill, Jeremy? Oh, well, I think you already said it was Reese.
Reese was my favorite, just because of the added effect of when they stabbed him. He just kind of stood there, it was just like.
Yeah, he's kind of twitching and just kind of standing there. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to Reese because Caleb's was a shocking one because it was pretty quick.
Yep.
It's not even like halfway through the film, but you're like, oh my God, they already killed him already. Oh my God, and then and Tanner, his death wasn't even on camera. He like died off screen.
Yep.
I mean, you get to kind of see a little bit. Maybe I think they like smashed his foot or something. I don't know, but yeah, his was off screen and kind of just boring. Yeah, this movie was boring.
One thing I did like about this movie, I actually liked the hotel room they were in. The whole rustic cabin look.
Yeah, it did have a different feel, and I do appreciate that they just didn't do like a rehash of the first one. They didn't prequel it in the same location. So, but here's what?
There was one more scene that's my favorite. I just thought of it.
Oh, what is it, Jeremy?
When they ran out to their car and it wouldn't start, and they like swarmed the car, and he got out with the camera.
They look like paparazzi. They look like paparazzi trying to ambush a star. They like got in the vehicle and I know what you're talking about. They tried to get in the vehicle and they're like swarming around with the camera. They're like, look in the camera. Look in the camera.
Scream. You gotta scream at the camera.
Yeah, scream in the camera.
That was a good scene too.
Probably because of its humorous effect.
Fire said her favorite kill was when she
Oh my
shoved the bad guy into the nail, so he officially got nailed from behind.
Yeah, I think I mean I think I used a joke similar to that on Monday, so it's kind of funny. Yeah, this movie, like I said, you change the name of it, you change the focus a little bit, and the movie's not like the worst movie out there. I mean, here's the problem though. You have good movies, you have bad movies, and then you have they're so bad that they're good movies, like The Room. You know, we love those movies. You know they're bad. You know they're going to be horrible, but you watch them because it's fun. You can laugh. You can, it's an experience. But there is that fine line where you can actually get a movie that's just boring. This movie hits that line so well that I don't even really need to see this again.
I will tell you right now, I will probably never watch this movie again.
Yeah, it's for me. It's like the Fantastic Four movie, the newer one that had come out a couple of years back. I was so excited for that movie because I loved the Fantastic Four, and I saw the first one. I think it's a fun little film. It's not great, but it's a fun little film. I saw like the Rise of the Silver Surfer, and I was just like, eh. And then they had said that they were doing, the remake. And I saw the trailer for it. I was like, ooh, it's going to be dark and gritty. I want to, and they're doing the ultimate Fantastic Four origin and not, just the modern day, flying into space and getting irradiated. So I was like, okay, I got some high hopes for it. The movie came out to theaters. It bombed. Didn't go see it in theaters. I waited until it hit Redbox. I got it in Redbox, took it home, put it in. I watched it. I watched it one time. Now this is my favorite like superhero team we're talking about. I watched it one time and I was like, okay. Once it was done, I put it back in the case, took it back. Never watched it since. I think it even popped up on Disney Plus. I don't care.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, there's no point. There's no point to watching it. There was nothing stand out. It's like this movie. There's nothing in this movie that exists that would explain why this movie exists. There's not any logical. I don't care about this movie enough.
I mean, but 54 people did.
Apparently 54 people did. But I'm saying, like, if they made this about Mason, maybe that is a reason to exist. It may not be good, but at least it has a purpose. This one's just, who cares how the operation got set up? I don't care. It's not something that I'm lying in bed at night going, oh my God, how do they get so many TVs in there? Where did this idea come from? No, it's just some sick people with video cameras filming people getting murdered. That's it. You don't need nothing else. It's like Joyride. I'm pretty sure when we get to that, there's like there's like 2 or 3 sequels to that movie.
I think we learned just how bad this movie was going to be just based off the trailer, when 50% of the trailer is just a re-showing of the original trailer for the first movie.
Yeah, and they were trying to set this. Oh my God, that trailer's a lie. that trailer was a lie because it was like, in 2007, this motel was shut down, and inside they had hundreds of tapes of people getting murdered. The earliest recorded one goes back to 2004. Now, you would do something like that if it's like like one of those found footage things.
Yeah.
It wasn't. This was purely just another movie. So and the more that I think about it, the more angry I get about this movie.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10.
2. Oh, on a 10? On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
A 3.
A 3?
A 3. I give this movie a 3.
Do you want to know what IMDb gave it?
Oh, God, do I even want to listen to IMDb? Because I just saw what the people on Amazon said. So, what would they say?
4.9 out of 10.
That's much, much better than 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
I thought you could say it's like 4.9 out of 5. I was about to throw this mic. Like, there's no way this garbage movie can and just be at the top. Okay, I'm really interested in Rotten Tomatoes.
So, I give this movie a 2 out of 10.
Oh, just a 2 out of 10, huh?
No, if this was out of 5, I'd give it a 1. Maybe even a 0.5. Like, it's just so bad and so unnecessary. This is the equivalent of what's the third I Know What You Did Last Summer?
You mean the one that has the ghost fisherman?
Yeah,
in,
zombie fisherman.
It was like Ohio. There's like no ocean whatsoever.
Yeah.
What do you mean a 2.5? I don't do halves. I take that statement back. I may have done a half in an earlier video, but I am sticking to 3. If it was out of 5, then it would be a 2. But if it's out of 10, I'll give that one extra point just to buffer it a little bit.
Heck no, tech no. But yeah, this is the equivalent of that third I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, which we'll get to eventually. But
technically, we didn't need a second one of those either, but you ended up getting Jack Black, so.
Yeah, but at least in that movie, it kind of explains a little bit that it's his son. Like, at least there's some explanation.
I haven't watched that movie yet. We're going to watch that movie.
What movie?
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming that's considered horror.
It is. Scream Queen, bro.
Yeah, I know that, but you know what? You know what I'm going to do, Jeremy? I'm going to see, you're going to have all these wonderful, like, little series that you want to do, excluding Leprechaun, because that series is garbage.
It is not.
But, I digress. But, I think I'm going to pick every series that just has a trash movie in there somewhere. So I think maybe my next one will be like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, just so we can get to the trash fisherman chunks. But Ohio man.
Oh my god.
Maybe the ones after that'll. God, Wrong Turn is just, they're awful with sequels.
After the second one, yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just stop. Let's see here. Joyride's got plenty of them. I think they got like 2 or 3. I think.
Yeah, they got the. You have You got Joyride 2, which is Dead Ahead. Joyride 3, which is Roadkill.
Oh, please tell me, is it going to be the origin story of one of the trucker's tires? This is hot. Rubber. This is the origin story for Rubber.
Oh, yeah.
That movie's not a horror movie, though. We can't cover that one. Sorry, Jeremy. Would Tremors be considered horror?
Yes.
We were actually just watching that the other day. I forgot how good that was.
Yeah, I forgot Paul Walker was in Joyride.
Paul Walker and Steve Zahn.
Yep.
And Candy Cane. Oh, what's his name? Buffalo Bob.
Yeah. So.
Did the voice.
Well, if that's the case, then I think it's time to bring in the Rotten Tomatoes, Jason.
This movie got like just splat and thrown in the garbage.
So
it wasn't even good enough to leave on the wall.
I remember looking at it last week. I didn't want to tell you, but I'll tell you exactly what it is now.
Okay. I'm gonna go with 20%.
20.
Mm.
Everybody else in the audience, let's see what y'all think.
Dun 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 dun.
Phone a friend.
Dun, dun, dun,
Use a
dun,
lifeline.
Don't, because your friend's never seen this movie. No one's seen this movie. Leave your friends out of this movie. Friends don't let friends watch this movie.
All right.
Da, 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 dun, 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 boom, boom.
There isn't a rating on the tomato meter.
You lie to me.
I kid you not. There's nothing on the
There's-
tomato meter.
It's so bad that that even the critics are not even like. So
There are
critics,
4 critic reviews on the entire thing for the tomatoes, for Rotten Tomatoes.
So what did they give it? Well, okay, read those 4 reviews. I want to know what those 4 reviews actually say.
All right.
Oh, this is the first one. If we ain't gonna get a rating, I want to hear what their opinions were.
So Kevin Carr gave it a splat. While this film is true to its predecessor, it does have a distinct direct-to-DVD feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that
David Nusser gave it a non-splat, a better than expected direct-to-video sequel. 2.5 out of 4.
What?
Prairie Miller gave it a tomato. Impressively freaky with creepy ambiance to spare, and with a Roach Motel kind of no checking out policy, at least not in this lifetime. The chiller also intimates a darkly humorous undercurrent about U.S. culture's violence over sex preference. You need to learn your grammar and how to spell. Just saying.
She's a critic.
And then
Good.
the Foy Wonder gave it a splat. Vacancy 2, the final cut is cheap, pointless, boring, and not scary in the slightest.
I'm gonna agree with that last one. I'm gonna agree with the last one because it first of all, this is not. Oh, this is a high quality direct to DVD. Yeah, no. Let me rephrase that one more time. No.
Audience score.
Oh boy. Does this one actually have a rating?
It does.
Okay, 20%. 22%.
20 or 22? You going 20? You're going 22?
I'm gonna go with 22 because I did 20 for critics, and usually the audience can be a little bit higher than critics. So I'm gonna go with 22.
21.
Oh God! I was pinching it.
You pinched it one side and then you pinched it to the other.
Oh no! You can't do that more than once. Oh. Yeah, that sounds about right. This movie's. Wow. Yes, the last one nailed it on the head. Was that supposed to be funny there, Raven? The last one nailed it on the head.
Yeah, he died by getting a nail to the head.
Oh my God. I guess you could say he nailed it. Look at this, guys. Look at us.
He
We're
really
sitting
got
here.
pinned in the head.
This is what it's come down to.
Hey,
This is what it's
that
come
must
down
be
to.
how he becomes. That's how Pinhead is born.
No, don't shame Hellraiser with this, Jeremy.
You're right. He
Hellraiser
has
can
his
do
own.
that.
He already has
Yeah,
his
they-
own bad sequels.
Yeah, I was just about to say he can destroy himself. Okay. Base Pinhead.
Although when we
We
get to
have
it, the remake
such-
was really good.
We have such sights to show you.
You
Like space.
open the box.
In space. This is what we got, guys. We already talked about the movie. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about, and we're just we're just. This is, oh my god. Oh my god.
This definitely will probably be the shortest episode for a little bit.
No. We're gonna get that hour. People are listening for an hour. We cannot let the people down in what was our top city that we
Oh, Corpus Christi, Texas, in the U.S.
yeah, Corpus. Who do we know in Corpus Christi? But Corpus Crispy.
Corpus Krispy Kreme, baby.
Yeah, oh god. Who do we don't know anyone out there. No one that we know moved out there, did they?
Well, for starters, I do want to issue a shout out to the beautiful people who have been listening to us constantly every week.
Yeah, well, after this episode, we might just end up losing a couple.
I don't think so.
Oh my god, is this what we're gonna have to deal with when they hit a bad movie? Just really bad jokes and puns? Yes, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get us.
I mean, at least we'll have some vacancy for some viewers.
She's so on the nail right there. She just want.
Ravenfire says, "Come on, you can't cut it short. You have to nail it home." She's so punny.
You know, there's other things that happened in this movie besides the nail. Okay. Why don't you just try to take a stab at it while you're at it, huh? Want to try that? Maybe take another shot?
You need to lighten up with the nail puns.
Oh my god, this is horrible. This is so much more exciting than actually the movie itself. That's funny.
So, anybody who starts watching this, just remember, you can just listen to this podcast and you'll have the entire movie, and then you'll get a bunch of good puns and jokes throughout the entire thing too. In fact, you could probably listen to them together, and ours it'll sync up.
Yeah, if we run our normal time and then throw an extra 20 minutes on top of it, we outpace the movie. So let's see. We're about 47 minutes in. Jeremy, what part do you think was going on at 47 minutes?
Is it what our backdrop is right now? Where she's smiling at her boyfriend's cute head?
What were they doing there? They were moving, right?
I think that was right after they got out of the car. And they ran back into the hotel room.
Yeah, because the Tanner, their friend or whatever, why didn't he have a room? I must have zoned out a lot during this movie.
I mean, it could happen. It was really boring.
I mean, do you remember why he didn't have a room?
No, and I actually paid attention.
Oh, God, they didn't explain that either. Yeah, there's got to be like an explanation. I probably need to dig. All I know is that in the scene, the couple have a room, and he is staying in like the room next to him, but I think he broke in through like the window or something. Maybe it had something to do with like paying or something. I don't know. But he ends up finding the assorted, VHS tapes and puts them in, and it just somehow miraculously knows what the room looks like automatically. He only been in there like one time, and they shoot him out.
I mean,
because she had just gotten out of the shower, and then he put a tape in, and he's just like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Even Luke Wilson had to take time to do that.
I know Luke Wilson was like,
yeah, he was like watching a tape, and then he switched tapes, and then he kind of got, huh. Then he started looking at the placement of things, and then you start seeing some wheels clicking, some things happening. This guy put in a tape, and he's like, "Oh my god, that's their bed," and that's the whole thing.
Well, there are 4 did you know facts for this movie. That's it. 4.
Okay.
Scott Anderson is the only actor to appear in both the first and second.
Yep, knew that one.
Frank Whaley was offered the chance to reprise his role, but turned it down due to salary reasons.
Yeah, because they weren't going to pay him enough.
$20 an hour plus a candy bar was definitely not enough.
Nope.
When driving up to the motel, there's a sign that has a branch obscuring the sign and making it read Cheap Bates, a nod to the original slasher motel, the Bates Motel from Psycho. And that's about it.
What?
The 4th one don't mean crap.
Oh. What was that on?
Here's a good quote for you, Jason. When Otis let them in to the house, Doris is like, Jesus would let these 2 in here. And he went, yeah, but he knows if they slit his throat, he'll be back in 3 days. She's like, Otis, that is blasphemy. And this here is crazy.
Oh my god. This.
What?
No, it's just 5 out of 10 stars on IMDb.
For this movie?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
581 people gave it 10 out of 10.
Apparently, they like this movie a whole lot more than we did. Which, I mean, granted, everyone has an opinion. So, if you like this movie, you like this movie.
Well, I'm about to look at some of the reviews that 10 stars have given it. There's 2. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Kyle Allen 9 said gave it a 10 out of 10. Another kick-ass sequel. I just recently came across Vacancy 2, and since I love and have the first one, I had to buy the second one, and I was really impressed. I don't know which one I like better. They both scared the hell out of me. In this one, it goes back and shows how the psychopaths get involved in making snuff films. So this one is supposed to take place before Vacancy. This one centers on a group of friends. Agnes Bruckner, Trevor Wright, and R.J. Smith, and others encounter a team of psychos who have rigged the motel with cameras and plan to butcher their friends for profit. It's pretty sick. After watching this movie, it sort of reminds me of The Strangers. This film has some jump out of your seat moments. I recommend both Vacancy and Vacancy 2. They are really intense thrillers that scare you down to the bone.
What? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, fellow camp counselors, I'm gonna say, if you want to watch a Vacancy movie, just watch the first one. Don't bother with this. Don't. Please don't. I mean, you're welcome to. I'm not gonna tell you that you can't. I'm not, bossing you around or anything. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to save you guys a little bit of. Better yet, watch this movie first and then watch the other ones. At least it'll leave a better taste in your mouth.
One more 10 out of 10 review.
Oh, God.
Jacob John Taylor 1 on September 26th of 2019 gave it a 10 out of 10. This is not as scary as the first movie of Vacancy, but it is very scary. It has a great storyline and great acting. It is very scary. One of the scariest movie I have seen. 5 is underrating it.
Shout out to those 2 reviews that we just called out. Not saying that your opinions don't matter because everyone's opinions matter. And if you like this movie, that's great. You know, I try to. This is something that people put work into. Now, higher ups may have thought it was just more of a cash grab. Use the name, make a movie, earn some dollar. But spending a little bit of time, in the entertainment um, side of things, I do tend to think that people actually do try to work on these things, and they actually try their hardest, and sometimes it's not that great. So I don't want to say everything is terrible and you shouldn't watch it. Okay, if you use the word scary one more time, because this movie is, at least for me, it wasn't that scary. It's and the first one wasn't even that frightening. Maybe it was more of the idea, the setup that something like this could happen. But don't worry, guys, I'm still looking for that scary movie.
Well, we might have it after your, because I've already decided on what my single movie is.
Ooh, well, we got to do my single movie first.
Oh, I know. I've already picked
Oh,
it
which
out.
we're gonna get the trailer tonight. We're gonna get the trailer tonight because
It's actually
tonight. Oh, first thing I want to sing on this mic now.
It's actually time for that trailer. So, without
Yeah,
further
we're about 4
ado,
minutes out.
all y'all have a great and safe night. We will see y'all next week. Same time, same campfire, as we talk about Jason's next choice of movie. Jason, you want to tell him what it is?
This movie is a movie that is on Shudder. So if you guys have Shudder and you can't make it to Monday movie time thing, you can watch it on there. This movie also has Frank Whaley in it. This movie is called The Shed.
Before
It's a vampire movie, if anyone really cares.
before we do hop off and get over to that trailer, I did just want to say one thing. Pensacon is coming up next month. It's going to be the last weekend in February.
Yep.
The exact dates are going to be the 24th through the 26th of February. Me and Jason will both be out there all 3 days.
Yep.
We'd love to say if you see us popping around and y'all recognize us. If you do, great. Come say hey. We'd love to talk. We'll be using it to help promote the podcast and promote the video. So hopefully we can see some of y'all out there.
Yeah, we're actually hoping that because we couldn't do it this year, but we're gonna do some kind of hanging out and whatnot up there. But we were actually thinking maybe next year trying to get an actual table out there so we can kind of be more promoting our stuff. But I think we're working on stickers and possibly stickers or business cards or something to hand out, so we get our word out, and hopefully this channel will start growing. That's because it's really what we just want. We just want this to start growing a little bit. So I mean, if you've got friends or family out there that you who are into horror movies and stuff, go ahead and swing them this way. We got humor. We might be trying to add a couple more things to it. We're still working out some kinks, but yeah, we're really trying to get this thing to start growing. But it sounds like we're starting to pick up people from all over the place, Pensacola, Texas, overseas, So, yeah. That about sums it up. Thank you guys for listening in. Thank you guys if you guys have been here since the beginning. Thanks for sticking around. And if if you guys have, for the people out there who watched a couple episodes and decided it's not for you, that's great too. Go watch Vacancy too.
That won't be for you either.
But no. On a serious note, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks for stopping by on Mondays to watch movies, and yeah, we'll catch you on Monday.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a safe night. We'll see y'all next week.
People judge you here, not for who you are, but who you hang out with.
So you ever gonna ask Roxy out again, or are you just gonna spank one out to her every day till graduation?
If it makes my life a little easier to hang out with one crowd over the other, I'm gonna do what I have to do till I'm out of here.
Remember one thing, though.
You're having my sloppy seconds. I'm telling you, man, one day they're gonna go too far and they're gonna be sorry.
I thought I could handle this all on my own.
Hey, what happened to your face?
I have to tell you something. There's something in this shed. It wants to kill me.
Are you kidding me?
Dharma, I swear to God, there's something inside.
All right, then show me. Let me see your pet monster. Dude, don't you see what this means?
We can use this. This is power.
What?
Nobody's ever gonna mess with us again.
Are you crazy?
Think about it. It's not murder, it's payback.
This is not a gift or a weapon. This is dangerous.
I'm supposed to be your best friend. Look what they did to me this time.
What the hell is happening?
Dharma, what's inside that shed?
Get in.
What's inside that shed?